3.3. Graphing systems and linear inequalities.
I thought you said hey.
No. You're doing graphs a lot during this.
Why would you think that? What's your...
Algebra 2 is pretty much all graphing from here. Okay. Graphing systems of linear inequalities. An inequality is something with less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. We're going to put them on XY coordinate planes to graph them. Which means when we graph them, we have to shade them. And then we'll see where they overlap, and those are all the possible solution points. Okay? So, how would we graph y is greater than negative 2x minus 5? Where would that start? Where would this graph start?
Negative 5.
Negative 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it starts at negative 5. What's my slope?
32.
So down 2 over 1, right? Down 2 over 1, or I can go this way. Is my line dotted or solid?
Dotted.
Dotted, good. So when you're doing this, use a straight edge, okay? Now, I plug in a test point. I'm going to plug in 0, 0, because it's the easiest. 0 is greater than negative 2 times 0 minus 5. Is 0 greater than negative 5?
Yes.
So I shade where 0 is. Now, I have to graph my other. I would suggest on your homework using 2 separate colors. Okay, make it easier on yourself. Use 2 colors, okay? Highlighters, pencils, whatever, I don't care. But use 2 colors. Where does this graph start? Y is less than or equal to x plus 3.
3.
At positive 3. 1, 2, 3. What is my slope?
1.
So up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1. Dotted or solid line?
Solid.
Solid, good. Apparently we can't control that. Okay, solid line. Beautiful. Use a straight edge again. Okay, now I'm going to plug in 0 again. 0 is less than or equal to 0 plus 3. Is 0 less than or equal to 3?
Yes.
So I shade where 0 is.
I'm assuming, are we supposed to like find where what point works or something?
No,
Okay.
because where it overlaps in the shading is all the possible points that work. So that is your answer.
Wait, where do we start?
Okay, so you don't have a specific point in this because you're going to have a vast array of points. Okay. Over here, what happens if my equation says 2x plus 3y is less than 6? What do you have to do before you can even graph that?
Make it into y equals.
Make it into y equals or y is less than something. So you subtract 2x from both sides, right? So you get 3y is less than negative 2x plus 6. Then I divide by 3. So I get y is less than negative 2/3 x plus 2. Now I can graph that. How do I graph that? Where do I start? Positive 2. What's my slope?
Negative 2.
Down 2 over 3. And dotted or solid line?
Dotted.
Dotted. Again, use a straight edge. Yours will be better. It will be on graph paper. I'm going to plug in 0, 0 again. Okay, because I don't go through 0, so I can plug it in. 0 is less than negative 2/3 times 0 plus 2. Is 0 less than 2? So I shade where 0 is. I'm going to need to get a new thing marker.
Didn't we need to do something like that?
We have already done something like this. Now we're combining it with 2 equations.
Two equations.
Mhm.
Alright.
Exactly. Okay, how do I graph the red one?
Start at
Start
4.
4.
Start at positive 4, 2, 4. What's my slope?
Go down
Go down.
2 and then over 3.
Oh, what do you notice about these slopes?
They're the same.
They're the same. same, so what does that mean is gonna happen?
Parallel.
Which means
No
what?
solution. Wait, no.
Wait.
Yeah.
No solution.
You're right. Dotted or solid line?
Solid.
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 And the graphing will go away, right?
Yeah. So because there's no solution, I know that my shading's gonna go that way. But I'll prove it to you. If I plug in 0, 0, 0 is greater than or equal to negative 2/3 times 0 plus 4 is 0 greater than or equal to 4.
No.
So I cannot shade where 0 is, so I have to shade away. So there is no solution in this one because the slopes are the same and they are parallel lines. Okay?
My enemy.
Your enemy? I'll call your friend. Okay, oh good, this one's the easy one. How do I graph y is less than or equal to 3?
You
Put it on.
up. Go up 3.
Uh-huh.
And just put a line across.
Solid or dotted?
Solid.
Now I'm going to shade. This even becomes easier. All I have to do is say 0 is less than or equal to 3. True or false?
True.
Shade
Or
down.
0.
Or 0. Okay. Now, from there, oh, what type of graph is this? What type of graph is that?
Absolute value.
Absolute value, which means what shape should I have?
Oh.
A V.
Yes, a V, good. Okay, what is my vertex then? You have to find your vertex first.
4?
Opposite.
Oh.
Negative
One.
4.
Negative 4, what?
Oh.
0.
Yes, because there's nothing added on.
Alright, time to take notes.
Boom. Yeah.
There's my vertex. Now, what do you do from there?
You plug the vertex.
You have to plug in a point to get an output, and then you reflect it over the axis of symmetry, remember?
Don't you, can you reflect,
Because this is my axis of
do,
symmetry, right?
do 1 point to the left or the right?
Yes. So why don't we just choose 1, because it's easy. Okay? So if I plug in a 1, I say y is
Wait a
greater
second.
than 1 plus 4.
Wait a second, you have your 4 and your 0 backwards.
How?
No, I
For the
don't.
vortex.
Wait, what?
This is the vertex.
Down 4. So shouldn't the 4 be on the right?
Oh, wait a second. I lied. It's not down 4. It's over here. Right?
Yeah. Because this is
Yes, because my vertex is x0. Yes. So then, actually, let's plug in a negative 3. It'll make it easier. So if I plug in a negative 3 plus 4, okay, negative 3 plus 4 gives me y is greater than the absolute value of 1. So when you plug in a negative 3, you get a 1 out. Negative 3, 1. I reflect that over this axis of symmetry, yes? Boom. Dotted or solid lines for my vertex, or for my
Dotted.
absolute value. Okay. Now, I want to shade. I'm still going to plug in 0, 0 because it's easy. Okay? So I would say, if I plug in 0, 0, I would say 0 is greater than 0 plus 4 is 0 greater than 4. No. So instead of shading the outside, I shade the inside. And basically, the only overlap is right in this little segment. And those are the things you're doing tonight on your
So
homework.
it's only when we're finding the point that the thing inside the absolute value is flipped, right?
Correct. Correct. Okay.
Unless it's a negative.
Unless it's a negative, then yeah. Okay, so there are 3 types of graphs. Don't forget that on some of your homework, it will have absolute value. Pay attention to that. I'll tell you right now, the regular Algebra 2 messed that up on their test a lot. Okay? They went ahead and just graphed everything like it was a linear function, didn't even pay attention to the absolute value sign. Well, they didn't do well on that part.